Hello, welcome to this section of international marketing strategies. So we are in the module 5. Today we will be seeing pricing. Pricing is the first part of pricing is almost the same like your marketing prices. For example, what is fixed cost, variable cost, all of those things. The second part of the pricing has a set of about 15 or 20 words which are very specific to international business. These are basically shipping contract terminologies, and you should know all the terminologies. So we will do the first part of the pricing today in this session. So what is pricing all about? Pricing is the right amount that you are asking for the exchange of your product, and pricing is the only thing that will give you money for your efforts. All the other 4 P's are just, in other words, preparing. If pricing doesn't work well, then the promotions and then the production, all of that is meaningless. So what is very important in pricing is at what level of business you are in, what is the level of competition, and how much can you charge for the product. Now today, if you look at the market, the personal protection equipments for the doctors are in huge demand, and you would have seen in the newspapers that China had charged very heavily for giving very defective products, PPE, personal protection equipments, testing kits for COVID. You see, so all these are very important strategies, so very important aspects. Chinese, now again, there is also cultural aspects in it. Will a Japanese company do like this, or a company from US do like this, give substandard products? All these are cultural aspects of pricing. So in other word, pricing is a very important strategic decision, and it gives money to your entire effort. And in international marketing, there is always a fluctuation of pricing in terms of rupee and dollar value, okay, or any value that if you are sending it to Europe, then the euros. So first type of cost in export marketing. So what is price and cost? Price is what you are charging, and cost is what is the amount that you are incurring. Okay, so this you would have all studied in accounting. Production cost, selling and delivery cost. So this production cost is almost fixed. Like for example, the cost of electricity, the cost of rental, the cost of electricity is a variable cost, but cost of rental, labor, these are fixed. It is there, okay, whether you are going to produce or not, you have to pay the rental for the place, okay, like that. Production cost, selling and delivery costs. So fixed cost and variable cost. So fixed cost is that you will incur with or without the production. Okay, if you are manufacturing biscuits, so the factory, in terms of paying the rentals, the security, all these are fixed cost. Variable cost is the tonnage of wheat, sugar, transportation for that. All those are variable costs. Now, the present scenario, what happened was, normally the wages are variable cost, the amount you paid for laborers, how many hours they pay, you pay them. Now the government is telling, even if you have not done production because of COVID, okay, you have to pay the laborers. Okay, so when there is no production, when there is no sales, how will I pay the laborers? So the small scale, medium scale industry people are telling the government, don't fleece us and ask us to pay for something that we have not done. Okay, so we have not used the laborers, so you take from the PPF fund and pay them. PPF fund is provident fund that is being paid. There is more than 3 lakh crores there. So they are saying, government, the SMEs are saying, please take it from there and pay. So these are the various things that could happen in fixed and variable costs. Pricing objectives. Market penetration is when you want to capture the maximum depth of the market. Okay, so penetration price is generally followed by people, by companies which has a lot of money. Like for example, supposing an American company or a company from Europe is coming and setting up a factory here. So their exchange rate itself 1:70. So they have a deeper pocket. So they can sustain. Okay, they can say, let me take profits only after 5 years. I need market presence now. Okay, and they penetrate the market. So this is a penetration, maximum availability. First, they would require a very deep presence in the market, availability of the product. Once it is available, people will start buying it. That is their philosophy. Then pricing based on market share. Market share is supposing there is a total requirement for 100 products. Your market share is 50%. Okay, so based on that, you want higher market share, then you give offers to capture 70% of the market share. Okay, so why will somebody do that? Because if you are a monopoly, slowly people will forget the competitors. They will only remember you. So you can become a monopoly. For example, my market share is 50-50, Colgate and Pepsodent. So Colgate puts in, this is market share, this is the strategy this Jio did. They came in as a late entry. Airtel was number 1, so they wanted to be number 1 in market share, so they gave 3 months, 4 months, 6 months of free connectivity until all the others were bleeding. They couldn't take it anymore. Okay, so this is why would they do that? Because they feel ultimately if all the smaller companies are shaking and they are running away, then they will monopolize the situation. They will be number 1 or number 2. Market skimming. Market skimming is the strategy that they used to get market share. What is market skimming? Market skimming is Airtel, for example. Initially, Airtel was charging 16 rupees per minute of talk time or internet time. So when you are the only one, you can charge high. Moment the competitors came in, you are reducing the price. Fighting competition. So what are the strategies that they are following to fight competition? Some of them might reduce the price, some of them might give other kinds of offers, lotteries, promotions. It depends on each company. Okay? Fighting competition. Price objectives. So next is the fighting competition. If you look at Nokia was so good at giving very, very competitive prices, mobile phones, very large number of designs, models, they were able to give. So that each one has their own fighting, how they fight competition. Some of them give extremely good products, like for instance Apple, extremely good products, and skim the market. Skim means charge extra. Preventing new entry. So they would, all the existing players would join together and not want a new person to enter into the market. This is another pricing objective. Short payback period. So normally they give, supposing the industry gives 90 days credit, you want to bring it down to 30 days. That can be your pricing objective. So if you are giving margins, say 10% margins for 90 days, so you would give 15% margins and make the 90 days into 15 days. So liquidity is there, cash flow is there, the payback period has become shorter, like that. Early cash recovery. So the shorter payback period will result in early cash recovery. The cycle of payment will become shorter. So there will be more cash in transaction. Meeting export obligation. So for the first time you are trying to see how the market is. So you, based on that, you have your pricing strategy. And disposal of surplus. This is also called dumping. We will see in depth about dumping and what are the international obligations and rules regarding dumping. Okay, substandard products, extra surplus products which you have prepared for thing, all that can be sent to another country, dumped, which is called dumping. Optimum capacity utilization. Supposing I have a plant for manufacturing 1 lakh biscuits per day, and because of COVID, my contractor, say Parle, is giving me only 30,000. Okay, now I have capacity for 70,000 biscuits, for making 70,000 biscuits. So I would take other orders, okay, and charge very at cost price, because my factory is anyway less utilized. Okay, I don't have to pay extra to the laborers, because anyway they are paid for 1 lakh biscuits. Now they are only doing 30,000 biscuits. So like that, optimum utilization of existing capacity. For instance, colleges. After 4 o'clock, the colleges, so much of space, okay, so much of space is just locked and kept. So if I have to make profits, then I will have evening college from 4:30 or 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock. I don't have to spend anything, because the classrooms are there. Only variable costs like electricity, faculty, I have to pay part-time. Return on investment. Okay, if I need a quick return on investment, then I have to do more work. Like for example, the college example I gave, supposing at the present market price, I am getting a huge college, so I have paid heavily land cost. Okay, so I have to make it up. In the next 5 years at least, I have to recover the land cost. So the college owners will say return on investment. I have invested 100 crores on land, so it is not enough for me to work only on day shift. I will have evening shift college also. So it's a decision taken based on the pricing. Profit maximization, which is the best utility purpose and how I should price accordingly. Profit maximization, right? So factors affecting prices. Okay, what are the various factors? First one is, what is your objective? Whether you want to skim the market, penetrate the market, fight with the competition. Okay, costs, labor costs. For example, why everybody is coming to India for IT, because the costs for IT is the best in developing countries. IT professionals are available at a lower cost in developing countries than in developed countries. So, to make the same software, it is more competitive in India than in international market. Product differentiation. Okay, so I want to, this product differentiation is, I mean, if you look at Apple, they want product differentiation. They want to be identified as the best. So they would skim the market, keep introducing new products, skim the market. Now you have the headphone. So there was so much of, so most of their product, they come out with very different styles and exchange rate. Okay, market characteristics. Some of the markets, if products are really, for example, some food products. This Korean tea was introduced in Canada, and Canadians started loving it. It is a tea with something like in India we got it those with some floaters in it. Okay, it became a huge success, and so now they have hiked the prices, and there are so many people who are playing in the market. So it depends on whether your product has become a success or a failure. So then image. So high-end products, they will not want to cut down the prices because their image is very high. De Beers, okay, diamonds, they won't get into a market where they have to bargain. Government factor. For certain kinds of products, government gives swaps. Swaps are leverages. They give tax benefits and so on and so forth. So what is cost-based pricing? It involves the cost of all the ingredients that go into the product, fixed cost, variable cost, overheads, marketing cost, plus a particular percent of margin, 5%, 10% margin for as profits. Okay, you would have done this exercise in accounting and in previous marketing thing also. Cost-based pricing. You take the actual cost for that particular consignment, list them all out, add a particular margin to it, and arrive at a particular cost. Right? Generally, people who are exporting for the first time would want to do this. Okay? So you have an export order for coffee. So you buy coffee, then what is the cost of roasting, packaging, delivery, all of it put together, plus your margin is about 10%. Right? Market oriented pricing. Like for example, if the Brazilian coffee is selling for a lower cost, so what would you do? Indian coffee. So you would compete with them and then give almost the same price. Market oriented pricing. You would see how the other coffee from other countries, Colombian coffee, what are the prices, and then based on that you also quote a price. Break-even price. Break-even point is the point at which you start making profits. So as I mentioned, many products, like for instance Kellogg's, they say even after so many years of entry into India, they are still not made profits. So why? Because the numbers have to increase drastically for them to break even. So till now they have not break even. Like that, there are many products where they have long term. Their objective is to capture the Indian market. And now Kellogg's, if they want, they can bring other products. They already have a standard distribution pattern, so they can make use of it to distribute the product. So break-even point is the point where they start making profits. So you say, okay, let my first export order, it's okay, I will take. After my 5th export order, I should start breaking even. I should start getting profits. So you can have that as your objective and price your product. Marginal cost approach is the example that I gave you for making biscuits. Your plant capacity is 1 lakh making biscuits. Right now you have only 30,000 biscuits order. For 70,000 biscuits order, you just distribute your costs and give them for marginal lower price, so that your entire capacity is being utilized. Under the marginal cost, the relevant cost considered for pricing is the variable cost. Okay, fixed cost in any case plant is there. I am going to pay for the land and building. Okay, so what is the cost that I have to? Variable cost is cost of atta, sugar. So let me take that order for 70,000 more biscuits. So if you take the example of college into consideration, variable cost will only be the cost for part-time faculty, evening part-time faculty and electricity. Other things are already there, fixed cost, classrooms are there, everything is there. Okay, so that is your marginal cost, making use of and pricing accordingly. So the evening college fees will be much lesser than the normal college. Creative pricing. So being flexible, okay, on the move. Like for example, airlines and all, they have a pricing algorithm. Okay, so once there are lots of bookings, the prices starts going up. Once the booking dips, the prices starts coming down. Okay, so based on demand, the algorithm changes, right? So that is your creative pricing. Transfer price or intra-company pricing. So you have two different SBUs. It need not be company, it can be even within the same company. Okay, so cash cow, we have studied this concept of cash cow and dog. So when one product or when one company is not doing very well, or it is just initiating, the other company, they will start taking money and then plowing it into this company. Supposing ITC is now starting ITC housing. Okay, so they are already making profits in their food, in their hotels. Now these they will take money and plow it in a new venture, and that venture is ITC housing, right? So Shriram groups did this. They were into chit funds, they were into financing lorries, and then what they did, they wanted to get into housing. So they plowed in about 200 crores into their housing project. They started a project, they finished it, and now with that money they have started, it's a full-fledged division in itself. Okay, transfer pricing. So what are the various steps in pricing? Okay, defining pricing objectives. What can be the pricing objectives? I want to kill competitor. I want to penetrate the market. I want to skim the market. Any of these can be the overall objective. Based on that, you decide your pricing strategy. Analyze the market characteristics. Calculate the cost. How will you calculate the cost? Cost price, variable price, okay, marginal price. So cost, okay, variable, all these costs together, then you say this is the price. Then your margins, calculate the cost. Calculate values of incentives, whether you are going to, what kind of incentives you are going to give to the end consumer or to the dealers, distributors, all that. Determine export price. Okay, what are the market acceptability? So, and then you determine the price. Okay, so this entire aspect is the first part of pricing. What are the steps in pricing? Okay, what is pricing? What are the various costs involved in pricing? Okay, what are the pricing objectives? This will constitute the first part of pricing. The second part of pricing is a set of abbreviations. Okay, you have to know each one of these. What is Ex Works pricing? All these are words used in the quotations. These are internationally known terminologies. Okay, for the insurer, for the law, for logistic companies, all of them are familiar with these terminologies. What each terminology means, we will see in the next session. Thank you very much.